Welcome friends to another Dune video. Today we look at the Spacing Guild, how they recruit, what is taught, and what happens to a navigator if they disobey. Friends, let's find out. They test people here, two brothers who are about to do it. I assume there are such testing places on many worlds. As part of the process, there is an examination. For young people in training, the guild wants them to have resilient and malleable minds, and if things went wrong, they would mutate under the spice into ghastly shapes, suitable only for menial tasks or to be euthanized. The brothers have had some coaching prior to training on how to prepare to think beyond boundaries, and with an open imagination are key parts of that training. The tests are faced alone. You are taken into a sealed chamber. Spice gas is put into the chamber. Thick orange clouds that hold a gingery tang. They burned the occupant's nostrils. Demure thinks on the price of the gas he was breathing and how much a single examination must cost. And that is why they don't just test anyone. As the book tells it, he felt possibilities spinning all around him, like an elaborate contour map with ripples and intersections, a locus of points and paths that led into and out of the void. He opened his mind so that the spice could transport him anywhere in the universe. It seemed like such a natural thing to do. The other brother struggled. He choked on the spice, became dizzy, but he lost his thoughts at that point and couldn't focus. He fails the examination because he blocks his mind to the spice, and he is told the guild cannot use him and that he will not see his brother again. Demure has already started the conversion process. Demure was then ready to be trained at Junction. The location of Junction was an environment that would not interfere with its important work. He was in a container of spice and was changing slowly. The book says membranes had begun to connect his toes and fingers. His body had grown longer than before and took on a fish shape, and Demure's eyes had grown smaller without lashes. They were also developing cataracts. He didn't need them to see anymore, though, since he had other eyes, inner vision. Next to each tank, including his own, masked humans waited to move the tanks. One guild steersman was nearby to teach. The teacher had gone off with one student into fold space and had now returned. When he was able to travel fold space by himself, then he would be a low-ranking pilot. Seeing the world and being able to fold space meant everything. The rest, such as politics, now seemed so trivial. Grodin, the teacher, says he has travelled with a student, and they had employed high-order mathematics and dimensional change to read the future. He says the navigator must use what he sees to guide the highliner, break from the basic principles, and the cost could be the loss of your life and the cargo and people you transport. Demure is also going to be taught how to deal with the problems, such as partly folded space, issues with prescience, spice intolerance, and when the Holtzman drive begins to now work, he must choose safe paths that the drive can then move the ship along. He's also taught things from the Spacing Guild manual, such as guild gas circulation. If someone breaks the rules and tries to contact their family, their former family at this stage, as does Demure's brother, there are consequences. Demure is brought before steersmen in their own tanks, all now bloated and monstrous. This was a tribunal, and the guild tribunal spoke to him, as described by the book. The guild tribunal spoke to him in their shorthand, high-order mathematical language, thoughts and words communicated through the fabric of space itself, vastly more efficient than any human conversation. Guild instructors record the flying of their pupils, and this is then taken and returned to Junction for study. And on occasion, during the flight, navigation rules and safeguards are not followed, and this can be fed back to the learning students. In this case, Demure's brother had reached out to him, which is why he was there. The guilds say they are curious and said this type of communication really happened. Couriers, physical people, journey on the guild highliners, and have messages with them. That's how it is done. The guild wondered if the type of communication his brother had used, which was fold space transmission, could be used by them as well. Demert is then released from the tribunal, with his position and place in the guild intact. In the longer term, I can tell you that they are not able to exploit this technology, so he was not punished either as expected. They were just curious about what had happened. Any comments to make? Drop them down below.